so I'm going to start out. This project has 3 segments. The first is a 3 to 4 minute presentation, and the timer don't start yet. 3 to 4 minute presentation on the sales and the sales process, and then there will be a 3 to 5 minute role play where Michael is graciously be willing to be my customer, and I'm going to attempt to sell him on an alarm clock. Then there will be a 2 to 3 minute discussion at the end for you guys to give me feedback on how I did the role play portion. And so in the discussion part, the 2 to 3 minutes, I would really like you to focus on just the role play. So if there's things about the presentation or anything else, how I handled it, save that for the evaluation if you want to. But for the 2 to 3 minutes at the end, please focus on the role play and look for things I did well and things I can improve on. So I'm going to get started now on the discussion of the sales. So now you can start the first segment. So persuasion is the process by which use to influence the thoughts and actions of other people. Nowhere is the persuasive process more evident than the sales profession. Every day, salespeople use persuasion to influence people to buy and sell products and services. Today, I'll be practicing the persuasive process as used in the sales profession. I'll be attempting to sell an inexpensive product because it differs. Because it involves little monetary investment or risk, and it differs from selling a product that's more expensive. But now I'm going to get right into discussing the sales and the sales process. So the first component of a sale is the salesperson. There are 5 characteristics of an effective salesperson. The first characteristic is that they are focused on the buyer. They're focused on what they can do for the buyer and what the buyer actually needs. The second characteristic of an effective salesperson is that they are good listeners. They want to focus on what the buyer is saying so they can determine their needs. The third key characteristic of an effective salesperson is that they seek to create value for the customer. The fourth is that they radiate credibility. People want to buy from individuals that they perceive as having knowledge and know what they're talking about. The fifth characteristic is that they always have a good attitude. Sales, like no other profession, involves accepting a lot of rejection, so you have to be able to maintain a positive attitude as you go from sale to sale and during the sale. So that's the salesperson. The second key component of a sale, of course, is the buyer. A buyer goes through a 5-step process when they realize they need to purchase something. First is the realization of a need. They realize they have a need and they need to fill it. The second part of the process is the realization that the need is so great that they need to act on it, that they can't let this need continue on as it is. The third part of the process for a buyer is the search for options. They go out and they look for things that might satisfy their need. The fourth part of the buying process is the evaluation of options. So of all the options they have before them, they look at the different components of the options, try to decide which of these options is going to best fit their needs. The fifth component is a buying decision. When the buyer has researched all of their options, they look at the ones available to them and they pick the one that is going to best satisfy their needs at the cost they are willing to spend. So that's the salesperson, the buyer. Now I want to talk about the sales process. So according to the manual, the manual described a four-step process for sales. The first step as a salesperson is to seek to build rapport. People want to buy from salespeople that they see as credible, but they also want to buy from people that they like. So the first step is to introduce yourself, find areas of commonality, try to connect with the buyer as a person before you go into trying to sell the product. The second portion of the sale is to identify the buyer's needs. You do this by asking questions. You ask, what do you do? How do you do it? What kinds of problems are you having? First, though, you want to identify their situation. The next, you want to identify the problems they're having so you can find how you might be able to solve their problem. Once you've identified their problem, then you think about the offerings that you have available and you try to decide which of these offerings is going to best solve their problem. So this is the stage where the third stage, which is to introduce options to the buyer. First thing you describe the features, you present the options, you describe the features, but more importantly, you focus on the benefits. Because the buyer is going to purchase a product based on the benefits that it confers, not just the features that it has. Finally, the fourth step, once you've described the options and the buyer gives you a signal that they're ready to buy, you ask for commitment. This is the step that can be missed a lot by salespeople, but it's critical in the sales process. Ask for the sale. When they act like they're ready, when they maybe smile or nod or ask about pricing, then you ask them. Maybe you say, can I take this up at the register for you, or would you like me to get out the paperwork? you get them, you ask them, are they ready to commit to the sale? All right, so that's my presentation on the sales process, and if you could keep that information in mind about the buyer, the seller, about how I interact, and what I should be looking for with the customer as we do a role play. I'm going to now set up my products here, my wares, and Michael's going to get up and act like you're a customer checking them out, or? Start now.
Hey, Brian.
Hi, I'm Brian. What's your name?
Michael.
Great to meet you. Looks like you just came back from a fishing trip.
And it was much worse than a fishing trip.
What happened? Tell me about it.
Well, that would probably take me about an hour, but I got in a canoe, I slept in a hammock, I got wet at a waterfall, and I fell into an outhouse.
Yeah, that's a pretty quick description of it all. I'm glad you made it out. You're on dry land now, doing a little better.
Clean clothes.
Yeah, very nice. So I see you were checking out alarm clocks here. You had some trouble waking up recently?
Yeah. Every day I have trouble. I only have two problems with bed. I have trouble getting into it at night and getting out of it in the morning. In between, I do fine. Yeah? But seriously, I travel on business.
Okay.
And hotels are very good about wake-up calls. Okay. But about 10% of the time they miss. And it always seems that those 10% of the times they miss the wake-up call is the most important meeting of the week.
Oh, wow.
I sleep with earplugs because they have noisy air conditioners and people upstairs, you know. So I need an alarm clock that's got a high sound to it because the low-level sounds are screened out.
Right.
And I need something that'll fit into my suitcase.
Okay. So it sounds to me like you need something you can travel with, and something that's going to guarantee you to wake you up and knock you out of that sleep as soon as you set the alarm for it. Do I understand that correctly?
I was thinking maybe some with an electrode.
An electrode? You know what? I think you got a great product idea going there. But let me show you some of the options we have here. This is one of our more advanced models. I don't think that one's going to be your best option for taking on a sales trip. But I'll tell you what, I think this one is going to be one of the best options we have available. So this is the Sonic Boom alarm clock.
Sonic Bomb.
Sonic Boom. The Sonic Bomb.
You know something, Mr. Register? I think you just hit a nail right on the head.
This one it travels easily. You can see it's small enough to fit in a suitcase. You throw it right in there. It's got a big display. If it was on right now, you could see that you can see the time very easily. But you want to know the best part about this alarm clock? You want to get jolted out of bed, right? You want to get, as soon as you set that alarm, when it goes off, you're up and out. I'll tell you what, this alarm clock has a vibrating buzzer right here. You put this thing under the mattress. This thing, as soon as you set that alarm clock, it starts vibrating. It's going to go off. And you are not going to know, you are not going to stay asleep and do that. On top of that, it has a very loud alarm. You see this speaker back here? That's like an entire speaker system ready to knock you out of your sleep very quickly. Now, you might want to save this for those special times when you need to get up and you may not have gotten enough sleep the night before, because it's not always the most pleasant. But if you need to get up, this is the way to go.
That looks like that. But I've got a concern though.
What's that?
I'm not very conducive to electronic gadgets. I mean, how difficult is that to set the time and the alarm? And I mean, am I going to be spending 10 minutes screwing around with the red buttons there? Or?
That's a great question, because some of the alarm clocks we have available, you're going to have to read the manual through 5 times just to have an idea how to work through it correctly.
I've never read a manual in my life about anything.
Well, the good thing with this alarm clock, I can show you right now how to use it. It's very simple. You use these 5 buttons on the front. It's all laid out for you. Alarm set, hour, minute, and time. So you hold the alarm set to set the alarm. You hold the time to set the time, and you use these minute and hour buttons to go up and down with the time. And you can turn the alarm off with that button. You got the snooze button up top, and all of it's clearly laid out. So I actually have one of these alarm clocks myself, because like you sometimes have a really hard time waking up, and you just break it out. It's really easy to set the alarm, and it takes me about 10 seconds at most once I have it up and running. And it's real simple. Is there anything else about this launch?
Yeah, one other question.
Sure.
Where exactly did you say?
Probably right over behind your head. You don't want to get knocked out, but wherever you put it, that's the great thing about this. It's very flexible.
You know, Mr. Register, I came in here to buy an alarm clock, and you sold me.
I can set the register for you, and we can get you checked out.
And it sounds great to me.
All right, great.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, so 2 to 3 minutes on just how I. Anybody? Any comments? That was awesome.
Well done, you.
You know, I'll tell you one thing about the sales call, and I've been in that business for a long time. I mean, there is only one parameter when you reach it. You got the curly W.
Curly
You
W.
got to win. You made the sale. That's the parameter. When everything else is said, that's what you do in sales.
Well done.
Anybody else? Any feedback on? Yeah, Brenda.
And only because that's basically I teach sales where I work. You did a great job on recapping the items that he needed. However, using the word but is a negative connotation. You don't need that but in there. Take a pause and move on with the sentence. Then when you're describing some of the attributes, you could have said, based on what you told me, this is what I would select for you because, and then you have another opportunity to recap what his needs were. And then ask for the sale immediately right after that.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, I'm not sure that I really described the benefits as much as I should have, but.
Well, making them customer-specific benefits, so based on what you told me, blah, 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 this is what I would choose for you.
Right.
That it's only, and then you could use the only word, it's only going to be this amount. Did you want to go ahead and purchase it?
Okay.
But I don't think you need to apologize for not going on with more features. I came to you with a specific set of criteria, and you nailed exactly what I was looking for. Anything else would have been superfluous and would have been moving me away from the objective of what I wanted. You hit the nail right on the head with what I was looking for.
I think that's the thing I like the most is that you talked about the white one. This is a really nice machine, but based on your needs, this is the one that's going to fit your suitcase. And you cut right to the chase with it, so I thought that was good.
Ed?
I worked at Radio Shack, used to sell clock radios. Important feature, it has a battery backup so the power doesn't go out. And we have those batteries, which I will, which we can include, which we can sell you, with it. Is that where you sell the add-on?
Yep. No,
Yeah.
yep, so.
Yeah.
Okay. And the warranty, I should have gone with the warranty too.
Yeah, well,
I
that
don't
comes
know
in.
how much that clock weighs, but someone said he was going to travel internationally, maybe.
Yeah.
I was concerned about the weight. It would have been nice to know how much that weighed. He's carrying it on his person.
Yeah, back in the day, I used to work at Radio
Turned on.
Shack too, so I know you're. But I think Mike went a little bit light with you on the close, because I didn't actually hear you say, well, let me take you up to the register and ring you up. You said that after he said he was gonna take it, so maybe you should have said that before. So, let me
Yeah,
wrap
but
this up.
the question might have been cash or charge at that point. Are you gonna put that on a card, or did you want to pay cash,
Yeah, because I was almost stalling it when I said, can I take it to the register instead of just saying, go in, yeah, so that makes sense.
And I wasn't screwing around. That's a characteristic of me when I'm buying things. Is if I'm looking for something and somebody shows me what I want, and I'm not gonna dicker with prices,
Yeah.
wrap it up.
Right.
Yeah.
I think also what helped sell it though is the rapport that you built in the beginning, talking with the client, the customer, because you engaged him first by introducing yourself and saying, hey, I saw you look at the clock, but then you were asking him, hey, did you just come back from a fishing trip? You know, so it built that rapport before you started showing him, and then you asked him, hey, what do you need? So I think that worked really well too, because if the customer doesn't like you, you can't build a rapport. It doesn't matter if sometimes what you show them, they're not gonna wanna buy it from you.
Right.
But actually, not right about your presentation, but I got this fairly new alarm clock that it's called a smart clock, and you can just plug it in and it will automatically go to the right time, like it knows what time it is.
Get one of
Cool
those.
beans.
And the day,
Daylight savings time.
And it's a alarm for the right.
and it did the daylight.
Does it have a
by
vibrator,
itself.
Mark?
Well,
But
unless
that's
they
not
change
a
it.
No, I get to get additional options, but,
I appreciate